The year was 1945. In Mexico, prostitution wasn't hidden in shadows. It wasn't whispered about, and it wasn't illegal. It was organized and, in some circles, respectable. But behind one rural property named Rancho El Ángel, four sisters turned legality into horror and ambition into one of the darkest criminal operations Mexico had ever seen. This is the story of the Valenzuela sisters. The Valenzuela sisters were not educated. They had no formal skills and no social standing. What they did have was ambition and a complete lack of empathy. With limited opportunities and few options, they chose a business that promised fast income and social tolerance, running a brothel. They opened Rancho El Ángel, a modest operation at first, and surprisingly, it worked. Clients came, money flowed, but there was a problem the sisters could not ignore. None of them were attractive, and in their line of work, novelty meant profit. So the sisters devised a plan. They placed advertisements in local newspapers. Young women needed as maids, free room and board, as well as good wages, but only young females. It sounded safe, respectable, and even generous. Young women, many poor, uneducated, or desperate, answered in large numbers. Those selected were given housing, food, beds. But there were no wages, because the moment they arrived, they were no longer employees. They were prisoners. The women were forbidden from leaving. They were forced into prostitution. Refusal was not an option. Doors were locked, windows barred, hope removed. Every day followed the same routine: work, fear, silence. But the sisters weren't satisfied. They didn't just want success, they wanted expansion. To grow faster, the Valenzuelas hired mercenaries along the US-Mexico border, and their task was simple: to kidnap girls, especially young girls, some barely teenagers. Those identified as virgins were separated and reserved for high-paying clients, men willing to pay extra for what the sisters coldly referred to as defloration. Human lives reduced to inventory. More brothels opened, then more and even more. An empire built on terror where the women were never paid. Instead, they were forced to take heroin and cocaine, ensuring addiction and dependency. It was control through chemistry, and the rules were absolute. If a woman got sick, she was killed. If she tried to escape, she was killed. If she refused a client, she was killed. If customers didn't like her, she was killed. Pregnancy was forbidden. Unwanted pregnancies were dealt with brutally, and complications meant death. Even clients weren't always safe. If a client carried too much money, he was robbed and murdered. No witnesses, no risks. For nearly 10 years, this system operated undisturbed. No police intervention, no inspections, and no rescue. Fear kept victims silent, and bribes kept authorities away. Until one mistake shattered everything, police captured one of the kidnappers. And then, a miracle happened. One woman finally spoke. Authorities raided the property, and what they found defied belief: over 80 women, 11 men, and several fetuses. And these were only the remains on site. Investigators quickly realized most bodies had been disposed of elsewhere. Police estimated the true death toll exceeded 150. Possibly more than 200. Some victims had been beaten to death. Others were locked in isolated rooms, left to starve. Survival depended entirely on luck. When questioned, one of the sisters was asked to explain the deaths. Her response was chilling. She said the food didn't suit them well. With no emotion and no regret, just business. In 1964, the Valenzuela sisters finally stood trial. The evidence was overwhelming and the testimonies devastating. Each sister was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Justice, delayed but undeniable. One sister died in prison. Her body was dragged out by guards and reportedly left to be eaten by rats. Weeks later, what remained? bones and scraps, was thrown into a garbage bin. A grim ending. But no ending could ever undo the suffering left behind. Sometimes evil doesn't hide. It advertises, it operates legally, and it smiles while doing it.